Right, welcome, guys. This is Breakfast with the Brand, the number one podcast in the world for entrepreneurs and leaders who want to build industry leading brands. Today, I am your host, Junior Frederick, and I am joined by the esteemed Mr. Bobby Stealth. Bobby, how you doing?
Doing phenomenal, Junior. Doing phenomenal. I'm looking forward to having a great conversation this morning. I got on the run this morning as normal, did about 7.2 miles, so that was good. And I was just thinking about the phenomenal people that engage with the brand every morning. And I'm excited to see what they have to say today as we go through today's presentation.
Definitely, and we have an amazing guest as usual. Somebody who's no stranger to the show. Definitely a face that I think everybody will be happy to see. But before we get into that, I do want to send a few shout outs to everybody viewing. By the way, people, you can put it in the comments. Let us know where you're listening in from because that's super important. We have people from all around the world who do listen to the show. Last time we had South Africa, we had Australia, and a few other places on the other side of the planet. So quick shout out goes to Tia. So Tia says, "Great Saturday, everyone. Have a blessed week ahead." At everyone, at followers, at highlight. Let's continue to grow together. Definitely, Tia. And Tia's calling from New Jersey. I see Lawana. Shout out to Lawana. She says, "Good morning, all. Happy Saturday and blessed holy weekend to all who observe." So, yes, definitely blessed holy weekend to all of our phenomenal people who are celebrating this weekend. And I see Bradley. Bradley says, "Phenomenal Saturday morning to all." We have Joel coming in as well. Sensational Saturday. Joel is coming in from Knoxville, Tennessee. And of course, Bradley is in Texas. All right. So, Bobby, how are things on your end, man? Tell me, like, I know you're always doing your miles. I didn't do any miles this morning, but I did get a good workout in. For me, we've been working out twice a day. So right now, I'm starting to work a little bit more calisthenics back into my workout. I took a little break to do some of the cardio stuff, stuff like you, like running and cycling and stuff like that. But I'm coming back to more calisthenics, getting back to my roots, and just, man, just looking to really crush it in the weeks ahead. So, what about you?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking to put on weight. So I'm at the stage
Okay.
where I have like shredded everything. If you were to see me in the gym, just like in workout attire, you're like, man, there's very little body fat on this individual. And that was the goal. The goal was to get the body fat down to close to like 14%, which is pretty good. That's actually really good, depending on where you are. That being said, what I'm trying to do now is add about 5 pounds of lean muscle. So it's all about heavy lifting, going to failure, and eating a ton of protein. And that's like chicken breasts or something like that. But my diet is already very constricted. Like I try to only do like salmon or a good seafood fish, not too many of the, I stay away from the bottom feeders and all that stuff. So that being said, like I don't have too many options if I want to do it all natural. So that's where I'm at. I'm at that space where I got a lot of the weight off that was unhealthy, wasn't doing anything for me. Now it's all about putting on that lean, mean muscle.
That's right. And for me, Bobby, something that I'm also doing is starting to incorporate more herbs into my diet. So for me, yeah, I want to get, big and all that, but for me, it's more about functionality and just being healthy overall. So I do have it's a blessing to be in the Caribbean, and we have a lot of things that are available to us. So I have stuff like moringa and sea moss and things like that. I'm already doing sea moss now. I'll be doing moringa. Which, guys, if you don't know what moringa is, I want you to Google that. It has like 92 or maybe like 100 different vitamins and nutrients and stuff like that. So if you can get it, which you can order it on Amazon. I've seen it. Definitely you want to get that. And by the way, this is not health advice. I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what works for me, okay? All right. So we're gonna go to the first break in a second, but before we do, how many of you work out? How many of you take care of your health? If you think health is important, I want you to put a number one in the comments. So around here, we're not just about business, we're about being an all-rounder, taking care of your health, taking care of your family, taking care of all of those important things, because that's the whole point of doing business anyways, is to protect your family, take care of your family, make sure that they have a good life, make sure that you have a good life, make sure that you have a long life, a healthy one. So if you're into that, then you're in the right place. Okay, so Bobby, any last comments before we go to the first break?
No, let's get it. I'm excited.
All right, guys. So stay tuned. When we come back out, we have a special guest, and it's a she. Okay, it's a she,
Yeah.
and she'll be talking about a few amazing things. So you definitely don't want to miss it. All right. So stay tuned. Let's grow.
In brand clarity, exactly what you're gonna get is what it sounds like. Clarity for your brand. What is your color? What is your logo? What is your unique value proposition? Who are you speaking to? Why? How should you speak to them? How should I position myself? That's what you're gonna learn in brand clarity. You need other people to have the same clarity on your brand that you do. But this is the gap. If you don't have clarity on your brand, then no one else is gonna have clarity on your brand either. It's like messaging. Your message sounds clear to you, but is your end user receiving the value that you're trying to provide? I guarantee you that after you go through brand clarity, they will, and so will you. And that's how you'll scale your brand. From Harriet Tubman to Sojourner Truth to Rosa Parks, we have always been on a freedom run. Your LLC, your S Corp, C Corp, your business entity is what's going to give you the ability to go from your job, your industry wages, your 9 to 5 to the life of your dreams and the dream of your life. This is about you attaining all of the things that you could only possibly imagine and that our ancestors saw as not even being possible. Your freedom run? This is your freedom run. This is your moment. We're going to show you how to establish yourself as a business entity so you can go and come as you choose. There was a time when we needed permission slips to go from plantation to plantation. When you get a little bit older, you need permission slips to go from class to class. And when you get a little bit older, you get a vacation for 2 weeks, and then you have to come back after 2 weeks to your job, right? That's what they call it now, the 9 to 5, the gig. You might you work for 50 weeks and you get 2 off. The freedom run is when you establish your LLC and you're free for the rest of your life.
All right, guys. So we are back, and of course, we have our special guest who is no stranger to the show. Welcome, 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 Dr. Michelle. How you doing today?
I am doing super sensational on Saturdays. Thanks so much, Junior. How are you all doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How you say that? Say that again. Super sensational on Saturday. That's like a tongue.
Yes,
A
super
tongue.
sensational on Saturdays.
Okay, okay. I know I'm doing amazing. I feel great. How about yourself, Bobby?
Yeah, feeling phenomenal. It's always great to have Dr. Michelle in the building. She's a phenomenal speaker and does phenomenal work. I'm excited to see what we talk about this morning.
Definitely. Now, Dr. Michelle, obviously, like you're no stranger to the show, but for those people who may not have seen you before, can you give us a brief introduction of, who you are and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you all so much for this opportunity to be on Breakfast with the Brand today. It's just absolutely amazing. Every time I come on, it's like a shot of euphoric energy. So really excited about that. And shout out to Shaan, who also is, I believe, traveling today. So give him traveling grace and mercy to his destination there and back. So, all right, everybody, my name is Dr. Michelle D. Clark, and I am the CEO and founder of Lift After Breast Cancer. And I love to just acknowledge that I'm really just this small town girl with big time dreams who God has definitely shown his grace and his mercy. And he has saved me from some life threatening things. And when I talk about small town, I talk about Harvey. So I'm from Harvey, Illinois originally, and most folks do not even know where Harvey is. I probably wouldn't if I wasn't from there, but everybody knows where Chicago is. And unfortunately, you don't have to be a reporter on America's Most Wanted to know how Chicago did get its nickname Chirac. But instead of doing those types of things that was happening when I was growing up, when the city of Chicago kind of visited Harvey, if you will, there was a lot of turmoil that started happening back during that time, Junior and Bobby. But instead of doing those things, my parents did a fabulous job of raising me, and they instilled in us morals, values, and education. So yes, I did get my bachelor's degree in psychology, my master's in social work. I also have a PhD recognized in entrepreneurship and business administration. But the thing that I really like to tout y'all is the PhD that I got from the School of Hard Knocks. Because, when I say that God has definitely, shed his grace and mercy on me, I'm for real, because I have experienced complex traumas that really could have set me back. And actually it did. It did set me back. But with my background, my training, with some of the experience and expertise and the education that I was able to infuse in my life, and also my faith, I have to put that out there, my faith and family, then I was able to move forward to become the person that you see before you here today. So that's me in a nutshell.
What a phenomenal introduction.
Yeah.
What a phenomenal introduction. Dr. Michelle, where do we start? I mean, you've done so much for the community, just through your presence. I know a lot of people here, they follow you. So I see Bradley put in a heart. I know we have a few other people sending you love. Now, the last time you came on, remember the last time you came on, you were getting ready to do an event, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You are
So
absolutely correct.
tell us about that event. Tell us what happened, how did it go? Just walk us through the whole experience. And
Yeah.
by the way, if you were there, like if you attended the event, maybe live or in person, and you're looking at this right now, put it in the comments. What was your experience like?
Absolutely. Well, from my perspective, okay. So my sister always says, you got out the car. when I try to explain something to her, she's like, whoa, don't start in the middle. You got out the car, and what happened? Literally got out the car and just saw women of all walks of life just excited to be there. And I got whisked away into a side room, so that way I could be preserved, if you will, before I come out. Because sometimes as speakers, we just need to kind of take a moment to ourselves to kind of regroup and reset, because you have this nervous energy just all throughout your body. And I tell other speakers and people who are, even if you're not a speaker, you're going to do something phenomenal, something great.
Yeah.
That nervousness is really just your cue that you're alive. Then you're alive. So embrace that. And so that's exactly what I did. I embraced that moment, and I got myself set. My videographer came in and she videoed me saying a little something before I came out. And then it was showtime, go time. And we had a video that gave a snippet of my breast cancer, my personal journey with breast cancer, and from diagnosis all the way through different treatments and my rehabilitation. So all that was compressed into a 5-minute video that everybody got a chance to see before I came out. And when I saw the video, when my videographer put that together, it was for me because I had forgotten so much. Anyone who has experienced any kind of life-threatening disorder or disease, sometimes in the disease or disorder itself, you may have some memory loss. And when I say loss, it's usually more of like repressed memories, because our minds actually try to protect us from certain things and protect us from remembering certain things to keep us from being stalled. And then the other part of that is actually the treatment itself. I know I'm getting a little bit away from the event, but I want to pause in this for a quick second, because it's really important for people to understand, especially if they have had the journey that I've had. Of course, they haven't walked my walk, but they may have had the same breast cancer journey, right? And the journey of having breast cancer. But you may actually forget some things because of the treatments that we experience. There actually can be what we call like brain fog. That's a real thing. And so when we put those videos together, we're pulling things back from when I actually was going through radiation therapy back in 2016. And so seeing that, and then seeing my face, seeing how I looked, seeing my hair, seeing all those things, because yes, I had hair loss and some other things. So seeing that video, it was very emotional for me. And I heard from the audience members that when they saw that, it was very emotional for them. Even the supporters that were in the audience who had not been a breast cancer survivor, or maybe were a cancer survivor, but not breast cancer, and some who were just supporters as far as caregivers, or just being there for someone, or just saying, you know what, I can't stand cancer, so I'm a supporter, right? So from all of those folks, they just felt that emotional pour from the video. And then I came out and I actually shared my story. I shared what happened to me, all the way again from diagnosis, from me hearing those words. This is for those of you who weren't there. And those of you who may have missed 2 weeks ago, first of all, hashtag replay, right? But this is how I got the message of learning that I had breast cancer. Ring, 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 ring from my doctor. I'm at work, in between clients, and I'm sitting at my desk, and I get the call. It's actually my cell phone, right? So I'm holding it like this, but it's cell phone. And he says, "Hey, Michelle." I'm like, "Hey, what's going on, doc?" He's like, "You know you got breast cancer, right?"
Wow.
Right. Right. That's a real positive identification moment, right?
That's the way they told it to you?
Yeah. That's how I learned I have breast cancer. Yeah, you think I have breast cancer, right? You cancel your subscription, right? Like, so, something, you got a daily paper. It was just something like so nonchalantish. But you know what? Let me tell you something. Looking back now, I don't know whether I can go as far as say I'm glad he gave it to me that way. But what I can say is that it didn't really allow me the opportunity to emotionally engage in his words. I was very cerebral with it because of how it was laid out. It was just like, oh, okay. And my mom always taught me that whenever you receive a problem, now you have to go in solution mode. So my next question was, okay, what do we do next, Doc? What do you do next? And so I wasn't able to have that emotional connection with it. But I shared that. at the event. And I also shared what happened next, including the long, arduous journey that was not smooth sailing. Some people's journey is like easy breezy, like a Sunday morning. Mine was not. I'm still going through, y'all. As in, like, next month, I have another surgery, right? So there were delays in my reconstruct. And it was because I had some other critical illnesses, like strokes, had that too, and that delayed my process. But I shared all of that. I shared that, and then I shared what I gathered from the delays. First of all, delay doesn't mean denial. No is just no. I mean, no doesn't mean no. It means not now. And so when it did go through, in those moments from last year, March 23rd, to this year, that's why I had the brunch on the 23rd, is because last year I was devastated, distraught, and pulled it forward this year, and we turned that devastation and transformed it into celebration. And I actually had the brunch during the exact time frame that my hospital run of March 23rd last year. From 11 to about 1-ish was when I was at the hospital, and then I was turned away because they said I had COVID, even though tests later showed that I did not have COVID. But there was a reason for that. It was for me to pause in the pain so I could pull out my passion and my purpose in order to birth Lift After Breast Cancer. Without that, I was just running, y'all. Running. And so that gave me the opportunity to do just that, to pause in the pain, pull out the passion, my purpose, and work with breast cancer survivors, which I like to call thrivers. So we shared all of that there. Then, after that, then we got to the getting to know you. We did a wonderful icebreaker. We got a chance to meet the people in the audience. We had a special guest who came and graced us with her presence as well. So shout out to Congresswoman. We had Representative Rashida Tlaib in the house. So shout out to you for making it out. And my First Lady, Coco from our church, Greater Olivet Missionary Baptist Church. So we had a wonderful gathering, and the food. Before we got a chance to eat, I had a praise dancer come out, you all. I had her dance, and her dance was the moment when, if we reflect from last year to this year, I had no idea last year that it was just the beginning. And so she danced off of Kurt Carr's Just the Beginning. And in there, so many things have happened to us in our lives, each and every one of us. Everybody out here watching now, I'm sure that there's something out there that's happened in your life that you felt like, like Murphy's Law on steroids, whatever. Y'all know Murphy is, right? Whatever can go wrong will go wrong at the worst possible time. And it's like Murphy's Law is on steroids in your life. And you're wondering, what is going on? Why is this happening to me? And what we may not realize is that in that moment, it may seem like all chaos. It seems like things are just falling all around us. But that's not the case, you all. It's that things are falling into place. That's what I experienced. things were falling into place. And it was just the beginning where I felt distraught and devastated back on March 23rd of 2023. This year, I understood that that was just the beginning of my journey to birth, not only Lift After Breast Cancer, but to also birth our annual, because we will be doing it again. So this year was our inaugural celebration, elevation, transformation brunch. And we'll be doing that again every single year to solidify and celebrate not only my life, but the life of other survivors. So that was her dance. Then we ate good. Listen, let me tell you something. I had to pull back on eating you all because I wanted to make sure I wasn't too full when I got back on the microphone. But the food was so good. Everyone had commented on how well it was. And we made sure that we wanted everyone to be pampered. So when they came in, they got swag bags and they did not have to get out of their seat to eat. We had glove service where the servers came and set food down at your table. We wanted everyone to be pampered and treated like royalty. So we did that. And then after that, we did some more activities. We did self-care activity so that people can learn not only how to teach others how to treat us. And I did. I talked about Mr. Rais. I said, you know what? I have a mentor who always has taught us that you teach people how to treat you when they meet you by how you treat yourself. And so we did an activity that embodied that. And then we did some more giveaways. We've had, pause for station identification, y'all. We had the virtual audience in the house. And yes, Bradley was there in the virtual audience. Dr. Linda was in the virtual audience. Some other people were in the virtual audience. And we had my near dear friend, Keishani Newton, who was engaging the virtual audience. So they were able to participate. And during the break while we were eating lunch, we didn't just leave them hanging. She engaged them in fun prizes and games, and also some takeaways they got from that segment prior to. So we really want to make sure that the virtual audience didn't just feel like they were just spectators, but they were actually players in the game. So we engaged them as well. And then after we closed out with some more prizes, and this was the real moment of climax for me. And that was when I just got a shiver just talking about it. That was when we had all the breast cancer survivors to line up behind me. No, Shelly, don't cry. Oh my God, I'm about to start crying. That's what I call myself, y'all. That's my alter ego, Shelly. Where they lined up behind me. And I was able to, first of all, give them their kudos, their credit for being on this side of survivorship. And then we did some grand prize giveaways to them. And they also got survivor sashes to wear. And in that moment, it just, the gravity just hit me that, you know what? I'm alive. I'm alive. And because of that, I'm now able to pour into others because what I've experienced. And not everybody chooses to do that. And that's okay. Some people, your journey, if it's personal and private, that's okay. But I'm just happy and grateful that God put it on my heart to be able to transition my lesson and transform it into a blessing that I can now package and give to others. So that was the journey of the brunch. And I'm super excited to be able to do this every single year. As my late great pastor used to say, God willing and the creek don't rise. It will happen every year.
Amazing. Guys, listen, we're going to take a short break. Once we come back, we're going to unpack that event and more with Dr. Michelle. Stay tuned.
From Harriet Tubman to Sojourner Truth to Rosa Parks, we have always been on a freedom run. Your LLC, your S Corp, C Corp, your business entity is what's going to give you the ability to go from your job, your industry wages, your 9 to 5 to the life of your dreams and the dream of your life. This is about you attaining all of the things that you could only possibly imagine and that our ancestors saw as not even being possible. Your freedom run? This is your freedom run. This is your moment. We're going to show you how to establish yourself as a business entity so you can go and come as you choose. There was a time when we needed permission slips to go from plantation to plantation. When you get a little bit older, you need permission slips to go from class to class. And when you get a little bit older, you get a vacation for 2 weeks, and then you have to come back after 2 weeks to your job, right? That's what they call it now, the 9 to 5, the gig. You might you work for 50 weeks and you get 2 off. The freedom run is when you establish your LLC and you're free for the rest of your life. When I think of brand you, I think of being your best self, your most authentic. The reason why we were able to crush business, absolutely dominate in business without having the marketing list, without having the email huge list, without having the Facebook ads and the advertising budget, without knowing the algorithm. The reason we were able to do this is because I branded myself. I told my authentic story and I was comfortable in my skin. Why? Because it was that time in the world where everything was shifting. It was 2020, March. So you remember what happened during that time. It was like the world was coming to an end. So you didn't have anything to hold back. So I chose to give everything that I had and be everything that I am. And because I was that, because I branded me, because I was authentic, everything shifted. And people wanted more. And they wanted to know more about me and how they could become more comfortable in their skin. Listen, guys, when you brand you and not what you do, you're going to add a 0 to the world. But you'll also add a 0 to your revenue. Let's grow.
All right, guys, so we are back. Dr. Michelle, what an amazing, amazing journey that you just walked us through. I see you getting so much love in the chat. I have a few things for you, but before I dive into that, I want to give Bobby the opportunity to go ahead and ask you a question if he has any.
You know, I'm pretty speechless right now. I'm sure I have a question for you, but I just want to say that it's rare in my experience where things go perfectly. And it sounds like that event went perfectly. It was from the time you got out of the car to the first introduction to probably the last hand you shook. It was electric. It was inspiring. It was rejuvenating. You know, and I wasn't able to be there. And I know it's for women. And I'm sure that the women that were in attendance were uplifted. They were definitely inspired and maybe even empowered. And I think that having all of that energy in one room definitely is a powerful thing. So that's one thing that I just wanted to say, because it's like thriving is an understatement. You guys are living testaments of excellence and resilience. My question for you would be, as you've gone through this process now and you've developed so many things, and now you're putting together the coaching program and giving people opportunities to engage with you, what do you see as being the impact that you're looking to make right now? Like, how do you see your programs bringing life to various cancer survivors and thrivers?
Absolutely, absolutely. Before I answer that, I got to take a quick step back, because when you talked about the event being perfect and it appeared seamless, I have to give credit to my dream team. I guess I would say Michelle's Angels, and that is Jennifer Wilson, who, OMG. If you were at the event in person, she wore all white and she literally did look like an angel, and she was just everywhere. I mean, she's like Star Fair, she's everywhere. She made sure everything ran smoothly. So she was our project manager and moderator, and she was absolutely amazing. And then, Keishan E. Newton, giving her shout out as well for all that she did. So these are the ladies who helped me with the planning. And then my sister, Jennifer Clark, who was also on the scene, who was there making sure that everyone got checked in and got their swag. And then I had some other volunteers. So I want to thank everybody hands on deck who helped this to become the just utmost amazing event for everyone who was present. And And so transitioning back to your question, what I want people, the women who not only were there at the event, but who decide to take part in coaching programs, because we have 3 pillars that we are building out as we speak with Lift After Breast Cancer, and that's coaching, courses, and community. And so the women who were there on Saturday, and yes, in person was women only. The virtual audience was friendly to all, right? But that's part of the community. So that's one of the things that we're going to continue to do for community is the brunch, right? And so we're also going to do retreats. That's going to be another part of the community. And also advocacy, awareness, those types of things to make sure that the next time someone hears the words, hopefully not the way I heard it, but you have breast cancer, that they have resources. And then when the dust clears, so for Lift After Breast Cancer, we're working with survivors. And when I say survivors, that means that after the dust is cleared and you say, okay, I survived breast cancer. What? Now what do I do? This is where Lift After Breast Cancer will lift you up. In my journey, there was so much going on, so many different moving pieces. And what I found was that once I was diagnosed, once I went through all my treatments, I went back to what was. I love it. Licensed mental health therapist. I love working with my clients and all that. But I still had this empty, nagging feeling like there's just more of me to give, more of me to give, more of me to do. And I felt like my passion was shifting. Did I still love my clients? Absolutely. Did I still love the work I do? Because I love helping people. That's at the core of who I am. I've loved helping people ever since I was 6 years old. My mom has a really funny story about that. That when I was 6 years, okay, quick detour. Can I do a quick detour, y'all? If y'all can do a quick detour, put a 1 in the chat, because I don't want to take y'all off in the left field if y'all don't want the detour. Give me some 1s in the chat. We see some 1s. Look, I got my phone going here too. Now I can only see one platform. Can y'all see some 1s in the chat? Okay, I see some love.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have some 1s, yes.
Okay. All right. So my mom shares this story that when I was in first grade, that I had a little pencil sharpener at my desk. And it was the kind that had the little hat on it so that it would catch the shavings. I know, old school, right? And I had to put a sign on my desk that my classmates could come to my desk and get advice and get their pencil sharpened for 5 cents. I don't know if it was 5 or 10 cents. Now I got this from Lucy from the Peanut Gang, right? Y'all remember Lucy, right? And so I set that up, and my teacher called my mom and told my mom that kids were lined up at my desk, even though we had a pencil sharpener in the classroom. They came to my desk to get their pencil sharpened and to get advice. Now, I have no idea what advice a 6-year-old needed, nor do I know what kind of advice I was giving them. All I know is I was giving people advice and empowering people at the age of 6. So I've always loved helping people. Love that, right? And so now with me, when I was going through my journey and the feeling of emptiness and trying to figure out what is my purpose, what is my passion, what am I supposed to be here for? And during that pause, remember I told y'all that's when I found it. And it wasn't happenstance, and it wasn't even happenstance. There were a series of things that I did in order to come to that. I didn't just sit and just wait for an epiphany. No, I still was moving. I wasn't moving at lightning speed. I slowed down. I had a coach. Yes, I had a therapist. I had an oncology therapist. I had family and friends. And so there were people around me where I surrounded myself with goodness, with love, with support. And not just people who were saying, you can do it, but people who were also helping me to put together pathways to get to where I was promised to be. And that's exactly the coaching program that we're putting together right now, so that women who've experienced breast cancer don't have to wonder or wait and try to figure it out on their own what their promise and their passion, their purpose is. That's what you're going to gain. We're going to help women who've experienced breast cancer to be able to redefine themselves, reimagine themselves even. And some people might say, well, listen, Michelle, Dr. Michelle, I'm doing what I'm called to do. I love what I do. Great. Then guess what? Let's turn it up a notch. And that's what the celebration, elevation, transformation, we're going to elevate. So whatever you're doing, we're going to help you to elevate that. Turn it up a notch. What's the difference between hot water and boiling water, 1 degree, turn it up, let's go. So that's what we'll be doing with our coaching program. And we're going to, yes. So I'm super, super excited about that. Super excited about that. And again, with the community portion of that, because I really want to lay heavy on the community. And now I just talked about the people who were in my life, who not only supported me to help the brunch to be fabulous and phenomenal, but also helped me in my journey, my personal journey with breast cancer, who was there with me. Shout out to Mama Clark, Joanne Clark, and Ulysses Clark, and shout out to my brother and my sisters who were all rallying around me, to my daughter, Khalees, and my son, KJ. Everybody was just pulling for me, and they were there for me. But guess what? Everybody doesn't have that. Everybody doesn't have a place of worship. Everybody doesn't have family and friends. Everybody doesn't have a great medical team. Everybody doesn't have that. So we want to build a community around. So no female breast cancer survivor will ever have to say, I went at it alone. After the dust cleared and the medical team cleared me, gave me a bill clear of good health, and said my margins were clear. After my family and friends maybe flew back out of town or traveled out of town. And now I'm sitting here looking at my life and wondering how to pull all the pieces back together. That's where we're going to be there to lift you up.
Dr. Michelle, I'm going to ask the question everybody's thinking, where do we sign up for this? Where can somebody sign up for this thing?
Yes, absolutely. So we have a couple of different ways. And what I would say right now is to go to bit.ly/liftmeup. Go to that one.
Okay. Let's see. You can keep. I'm going to put it on the screen.
Okay, cool. Yep. So go to bit.ly/liftmeup, and the lift is all capitals, LIFT. Because how could I forget to tell you all? We're already halfway through the show, and LIFT is an acronym, you all. It stands for Living Inspired, Free, and Transformed. I have to do that. So yes, lift me up. So bit.ly/liftmeup, and that will. So you'll put in your information, and we will keep you abreast of when we are launching. Right, when we launch our program. So you'll be the first to know. And again, our program is for breast cancer survivors, high-performing female breast cancer survivors. So I had to say that because a lot of times people think, well, why do you have to say female breast cancer survivor? Because males get breast cancer too. A lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Yes, males get breast cancer too.
Yeah.
About 0.5 to 1% of breast cancer are men. So even though it's a small margin, it exists. And when I went to, back in October, I went to a walk and I met a male cancer survivor, breast cancer survivor. And he spoke, and it was amazing. His name was Michael. I was like, Michael Michelle, hey. So, but yes, so men, please don't think that just because you're a man that you can't get breast cancer too. You can. And so with the community though, I want to let you know, next year for our brunch, we are going to allow men in. We are going to allow men in. So you all the first to hear this, right? I have not announced this anywhere else. So Breakfast with a Brand, we're dropping it right here, right now. Men will be allowed to attend. Let me tell you why. One, I got this revelation. When I'm in the shower, I get a lot of revelations. That's my think time, right? Sometimes I'll have empowering music, inspirational music playing to pour into me. And sometimes I just want quietness and just hear the sound of, I call it like the rain coming down on me, and just allow my mind to go run free and allow God to pour into me that way. And because that's my source, you all. It's not everybody's, but that's my source. And what I heard was that some people's support systems go outside of the XX chromosome, right? Mm-hmm. So, and it was confirmed. I went and spoke to a group of cancer survivors, not just breast cancer, but cancer survivors. My oncology social worker therapist, she invited me to speak to the current group. And when I spoke to them, there was a man who was in there, and he wasn't a survivor. He was a supporter. He was there. His wife was one of the survivors, And another young lady spoke as well. And both of them said, I don't know what I would have done without my husband. And in that moment, it hit me, and it was like supporters. A lot of us as female breast cancer survivors, our supporters are men. They're for us. And I don't want to close them out and not acknowledge them as supporters. So I know we were allowed or open that up to the virtual audience, but I want to open that up now to the in-person audience. And I'm going to have a segment next time. So you guys first to hear this now. I'm going to have a segment next time that's also going to highlight the supporters. Highlight the supporters. Because without our supporters, oh my goodness, our breast cancer journey would be that much more difficult. So yes, so bit.ly/lift me up. That's going to provide, let me know, first of all, you're raising your hand and say, yes, I want to know more about Lift After Breast Cancer. I want to know how I can become involved. I want to know about future programs and events and retreats and things like that that's coming down the pipeline. And I want to be the first to know, because when you sign up on this form and say, yes, raise my hand, I want to know, you're going to have special perks that only the people who use this link will get. So make sure that if you're interested and you want to know more, then you use the bit.ly/lift me up and share that with other survivors that you know. Share that with other survivors so that way they can take part of this as well. And also share Breakfast with the Brand. Let them know that this is a show that you can go to get filled, not just business-wise, but personally, because as we know, our brand is just an extension of who we are.
That's right. That's right. Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle. And I believe like you have so much to offer the audience this morning. I think you also had a free gift.
Yes, I
I wanna-
do.
Listen, Michelle has so many things there. I want to make sure we get all of that out. So you do have a free gift for everybody that's watching, right? So how tell us about the free gift and how can everybody get their hands on that? How can we get that?
Absolutely. So it is my ebook. It's my free ebook, Serenity in a Box, right? So it's Serenity in a Box, and you all will have access to Serenity in a Box. So it is a self-care. It outlines specific ways that we can care for ourselves. Just like I stated in the first half there, that we have to say, we give credit to Mr. Shaan Rais, that we teach people how to treat us when they meet us by how we treat ourselves. And this isn't just some, just meditate or no. This is, when I talk about serenity, actually serenity out of the box, not in the box, out of the box, right? So it is where you'll get different strategies that you can implement that are like out of this world. It's like, I didn't even know that existed. So I cannot wait for you all to get a hold of this ebook. So all you have to do is go to info@michelledclark.com. When you go there, put in the subject line free gift, right? And then of course in the body, you can just put your name because I want to know who I'm sending a free gift to. But just email me at and that's MICHELEDCLARK.com, right? So when you go to info@michelledclark.com, I have to say that because it's Michelle with one L, not two. You don't need it. One does the same, right? I'm a minimalist in that way. So info@michelledclark.com and put in the subject free gift.
So there it is right there, guys. It's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. So info@Michelle D. Clark. So you can take a screenshot of that. I think we also put it in the comments. So you might be able to just click it. But what she's saying is send her an email to get access to that free gift. And Dr. Michelle, so is there anything else? I know you have so much. Before we go to the next break, is there anything else? I think you were offering virtual coffee, like just for people that want to connect with you, and I guess just hear your story from you, right? So
Absolutely.
tell us about the virtual coffee with Dr. Michelle.
Yeah, absolutely. I set this aside because there's a lot of times where I meet people either on the fly or meet people at wonderful events like the Celebration, Elevation, Transformation Brunch. And they say, you know what, I want to connect with you. And I want to connect with you and find out either more about your story, how I can help others to learn about Lift After Breast Cancer, and also how I can learn more about Lift After Breast Cancer and how it can help me as a breast cancer survivor. So when I hear those things, I said, you know what, let me create an atmosphere where this is a place, a safe space for us to meet and greet each other and just have some fun. And because I'm all about fun, if you guys didn't realize that, right? We really have to live our life. And I always say we have to keep the fun and fundamentals, right? So if you want to know more about me, if you want to know more about Lift After Breast Cancer, and you want to know more about how we can empower you, then yes, we have a bit.ly, and that one is, oh, actually, you know what? Go to the Calendly. I have a bit.ly for that one too. So we have bit.ly, but if you go to the calendly.com/ClarkMD, go to that one. That one will also help you to schedule the 15-minute virtual coffee. So no, you do not have to come from. I had a virtual coffee just recently with someone in the UK. So no, they didn't have to fly to the States in order to meet with me. We had a virtual coffee. And so yes, if you say something, I want to connect with you, Dr. Michelle. Well, guess what? Dr. Michelle wants to connect with you too. So meet with me at our virtual coffee, 15-minute virtual coffee. And that is, and some people, well, Dr. Michelle, I have way more to say than 15 minutes. That's just the start, right? So that's just the open up. And from there, then we can book the next appointment for us to really explore. But for this 15-minute virtual coffee, I want to get to know about you as well. So in general, I ask people, listen, tell me the top 3 things that you want me to know about you. And then let me know how I can empower you. How can I pour into you? So I'd love to know that. So if you want to connect with me, Dr. Michelle wants to connect with you. So make sure you hit me up at the calendly.com/ClarkMD. So meet me there, and then we can have our virtual coffee. And I actually do, listen, look, I actually do bring my coffee with me, or tea. Usually I do tea in the morning, but virtual coffee just sounds more elite.
100%. Listen, guys, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, more with Dr. Michelle. Stay tuned.
I said Shaan Ride East. I'm proud. I said Shaan Ride East. Leadership is not the brand they made for us.
Listen, he brought fire and heat. He didn't hold back.
20 years down the line, what I could sell, why not serve first? Service over salary. Branding like a leader closes the gap for people who want branding. Speaking like a leader closes the gap for people who are nervous about speaking. If Steve Jobs would have speculated, we wouldn't have Apple.
He changed lives. He helped people open up their business and start their business.
We are the brand. Some people say, Shaan, should I quit my job? Mentally, yes.
As a speaker too, to be able to learn from him and watch him and game respects game. And I want to have that much game someday.
The right client, pay $500,000 for what you do. You have to be bold in your beliefs.
He has been an amazing asset to this event and a pleasure to work with. Very captivating, collaborative, worked very well with the audience.
I want to help you. Put a 0 behind your number, right?
The session was great. How he is online, virtually, he is even more phenomenal in person.
Be the face of change that you want to see. Stop asking questions and start giving demands.
The entire team has just been absolutely incredible. They are a joy to work with. They go above and beyond.
Give yourself a round of applause. Yes, yes, yes.
All right, guys, so we are back. Listen, it's been an amazing morning as usual with Dr. Michelle D. Clark. Dr. Michelle, just personally, let me just say that, it's an exciting time for me seeing your vision finally come to fruition. Let me just say that. I know you and I, we've had our journey together. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs, I've seen so many different sides of you, and it's absolutely amazing to see, some of the things that you had in mind and the way that you seek to empower breast cancer survivors and now supporters come to fruition. So for me, it's just a very exciting and interesting time. And I know you have so much coming up. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell us just a little bit about the future of Lift After Breast Cancer. So what are some of the things that you have coming up in the pipeline? And also, I know that the event is an annual event. Can people begin to, secure their seats? Because I know that, listen, the first one was amazing. The next one, people will be scrambling to get tickets. So for the people who can right now, is it possible for them to secure their seat for the next one right away? And what are some of the things that you have coming up for the future?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we have some phenomenal events coming down the pipeline. And if you are looking to secure your seat in advance, I would say to go to info@michelledclark.com, and in the subject line, put Lift Brunch 2025. So info@michelledclark.com, and in the subject line, put Lift Brunch 2025.
Right.
I think Junior will have that. Yep. So, and that way we can know that, hey, you're raising your hand. You say, yes, I want in. I want in. And of course, anytime that we do pre-registrations, so we will send you a pre-registration form. And when we do pre-registrations, those who pre-register for events always get special prizes and access, right? Special seating, special pricing, preferred pricing. So make sure that you send me an email, info@michelledclark.com. That's MICHELEDCLARK.com, right? Info@michelledclark.com, and put in there Lift, LIFT, Brunch 2025. And then we will send you out the pre-registration form. So then that way you can pre-register for our event next year. In addition to that, if I can real quickly, I know Shaan told me to make sure to say this part as well, that if you are a sponsor, you sponsor different events, if you have an organization or a company and you do sponsorships or donations, we would love for you to sow a seed into our mission, into our, let me say this, into our vision. So I didn't get a chance to say this last Breakfast with the Brand when I was on, but I did get a chance to say this at our brunch. And I want to tell you all here in the audience that our vision for Lift After Breast Cancer is to change the standard of beauty. Change the standard of beauty. Because so many times as women, our reproductive organs are hypersexualized in media. And we have these unrealistic expectations and images that we're bombarded with of what beauty is. And it locks out a lot of people. I mean, it locks out so many people from being able to feel beautiful because we don't fit into this box of what society has created, what the media has created as what beauty is. I'm seeing the standards start to slowly change, kind of like the Titanic trying to divert from the iceberg. It's real slow, a slow go. We want to put some accelerant on that. And we want to include breast cancer survivors, because our scars, we should not be embarrassed or feel less than feminine or less than empowered, less than beautiful because of the scars that we bear. The scars that we have, it doesn't detract from, it adds to, it enhances who we are. It builds character, and not just on the inside. Because I can't stand there when somebody say, "Oh, she's so nice, her personality. She must have a real nice personality." Okay, that's great, but I want to feel beautiful on the outside too. I don't want somebody to just see the beauty on the inside. And some people might say, "Well, isn't that being shallow?" No, it's not. No, it's not. It's for real. So I don't want anyone to walk on this earth who has heard that sentence, "You have breast cancer," to feel less than beautiful for whatever reason. And when I was talking about and promoting the brunch, I was saying, listen, I want everybody to come. I want you to relax, enjoy yourself, let your hair down or take your hair off, so that, because literally, I want everyone to feel comfortable in the skin that they are in. And not just when they come to Lift After Breast Cancer, but we want to fortify you with our programs, with our service, with our community. So you walk tall, you walk strong, whether you decide to reconstruct or not, whether you decide to put on a wig or not, whether you decide to whatever you decide to do. I want you to feel comfortable in your choice, feel comfortable in your change, and to feel comfortable in the skin that you are in, whether it's shedding or not, because I did experience that too. So if you want to sow a seed in this vision, then text sow a seed to 586-298-2121. Again, that's 586-298-2121. And for those who are hearing impaired, I know Junior is going to put that on the screen as well. So if you or someone you know, an organization, a company says, you know what? I was going to say something real old school. I can dig it. I can dig that vision. I really want to see that vision come to pass. And sow a seed. Sow a seed today. So what else we have coming down the pipeline? So every year, so we started last year, and it was before Lift After Breast Cancer was birthed. But I was a part of a collaboration with Keisha Newton and New Innovations. And we have in May, it's going to be on the 18th, we have our Women's Health Symposium. So we'll be doing that again this year. Coming down the pipeline as well, we will be launching our beta for the program that we are going to be launching for Lift After Breast Cancer, our course. So we will be putting some CTAs out there for those of you who are breast cancer survivors. So that way you can get the first run of our program. And then we also, down the pipeline, we're going to have an anthology for breast cancer survivors. So I've been a part of many anthologies, but I've never shared my full breast cancer story. And if you go onto LinkedIn, you'll see that back in October, I started walking everybody through my breast cancer story. And I had so many positive reviews and raves from that. And it's like, okay, so you know what? Let's put this in a book. And not only that, not only do I have a story, others have a story. And I want to make sure that they get a chance to share their journey as well. So we will have an anthology. And next year, we will be launching our retreats. So super excited about that. You will, OMG, we're talking about luxury retreats. If you thought that the brunch was the bomb.com, which it was, but if you thought that was the bomb.com, you just wait until next year when we launch our retreat. We're talking about luxury. I want everyone who comes to feel like royalty, because you are. The simple fact that you are on the other side of survivorship. You are now, okay, I wish I had my magic wand. I actually have a magic wand. I used to have that when I was doing therapy, and I'd have it in my desk drawer, and I would take it out, and I would say, if I could grant you a wish, what would that wish be? Bling, right? So you are royalty. So I'm pulling that out right now. Bling, you are royalty, because you are a survivor, and now you are a thriver. And we're going to have so many holistically healing, just all around, euphoric experience. So when you leave, I don't want it to just be another retreat. It won't be. It's going to be an experience. So that's what we have coming down the pipeline. So yes, we have our Women's Health Symposium coming down the pipeline, collaboration. We have our launching of our course, and we have the anthology that's coming down the pipeline, and we have our retreats. So, and of course, next year, stay tuned for our second annual Celebration, Elevation, Transformation Brunch, which will always occur in March, y'all. That weekend on the 23rd, it will always occur on that weekend. It'll be on the 22nd in 2025, because that's the Saturday. So it'll all be the Saturday that week to commemorate the devastation and transforming it to celebration. So super excited about those things coming down the pipeline, Jane and Bobby.
Very nice, very nice. So just one quick question.
Yes.
So Lawana asked, do you have a nonprofit? So do you have a nonprofit, Dr. Michelle?
So I'm so glad you asked that, Lawana, because we are in the process of right now putting together, we are working with a expert right now who is helping us to put together our nonprofit side, because there's so much that we want to be able to do and give back to the community for free, right? We want to be able to do those things for free, and also provide scholarships and supports. So currently we are operating as an LLC. However, we are creating our nonprofit division, and we're looking to have that by summer. So by summer, we should be up and running.
All right, great.
So thank you so much for asking that, Luana.
Yeah, that was a really good question.
That was an excellent question.
So before we sort of wrap up, Bobby, do you have anything that you want to say?
Man.
I don't know if I've ever seen Bobby speechless.
Yes.
It's pretty tough to
I
do.
can just say, this is what doing the work looks like, for everybody that's watching. I remember when Michelle D. Clark Dr. Michelle D. Clark came into speaking like a leader, and there was so much there, but it was like the block, who was it? I think Michelangelo was creating David from this stone of block, and that's kind of what she had. She had her story, and she had her passion, and she was starting her journey, or rather finishing her journey, getting to a milestone in her journey, to where it was time to work on that block. And I was very fortunate to be there, to see her go from speaking like a leader to the leadership leverage and the ins and outs. And she was even working with me quite closely for a little while, for almost 6 months, where we were engaging with one another. And I just want to encourage everybody watching to know that Michelle is an example of what all of us can do when we do the work. And I'm so thrilled that she did it with consistency and commitment and integrity. And I think that because she sacrificed and because she has kept her faith, that there are going to be many women and men that are going to be uplifted, transformed, and inspired by the life that she leads and the many years that she continues to push this endeavor. So I would leave my closing remarks with congratulations, way to be consistent, and you will always be resilient in my dictionary. Your face right there.
Oh, thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate you.
Definitely. And for me, Dr. Michelle, I just want to say it's been an amazing journey thus far. And guys, listen, it's only just beginning. You're looking at the beginning phases of something truly amazing. So stay tuned. This is not the last time we will have Dr. Michelle on. Dr. Michelle will be on in the very near future, as well as a few other amazing women leaders in our community. So you want to stay on the lookout for that. But Dr. Michelle, it has been absolutely transformational. Just listening to you speak, I love the way that you're a master when it comes to transforming seemingly insurmountable odds into amazing opportunities for growth and for inspiration for other people. You're an absolute master of that. So it's been an absolute pleasure to listen to you speak today and to just soak in your positivity, in your amazing energy. And I know that everybody in the crowd feels the same way. So thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you for having me. Always, it's always been a pleasure. Always a pleasure to see you all and to be on Breakfast with the Brand. So thank you so much.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Dr. Michelle. Thank you, Bobby. Guys, we'll see you on Monday. Have a phenomenal weekend. Have a safe weekend and have a holy weekend if you're celebrating. And thank you very much. Talk soon.